the news, President Buhari sacks ministers of Agriculture and Power. Again, bandits abduct students from Zamfara school. And Zambia's new president complains of inheriting empty treasury. Many thanks for joining us on News Now. I'm Oyin Adekunle. Bandits have again abducted a yet-to-be-ascertained number of students following an attack on Kaya Day Secondary School in Zamfara State. The bandits were said to have invaded the Maradun local government area of the state at about 11 a.m. on Wednesday. According to reports, the assailants invaded the school in large numbers and left with the students to an undisclosed location. However, police authorities in the state are yet to confirm the incident. This is the third attack on schools in Zamfara State this year, coming after the incidents in Jangebe and Bakura areas of the state. And President Muhammadu Buhari has relieved the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Sabo Nanono, and his power counterpart, Saleh Maman, of their appointments. The special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, announced this after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. Adesina also announced the redeployment of some other ministers.
I have found it essential to reinvigorate this cabinet in a manner that will deepen its capacity to consolidate legacy achievements. Accordingly, a few changes marking the beginning of a continuous process have been approved. They are as follows. Ministers leaving the cabinet. 1. Mohammed Sabo Nanono, Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. And 2. Engineer Saleh Maman, Minister of Power. Redeployment. 1. Dr. Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar, Minister of Environment, to assume office as the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. 2. Engineer Abubakar D. Aliyu, Minister of State, Works and Housing, assumes office as the Minister of Power. I have personally met with the departing members to thank them for their contributions to discussions in Cabinet and the invaluable services rendered to the nation. Today effectively marks their last participation in the Federal Executive Council deliberations.
Joining us now to discuss this further is political affairs analyst and journalist Charles Ideho. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles, for joining us on News Now. Now, I don't think anyone saw this coming, considering the fact that President Muhammadu Buhari is not known to reshuffle or sack members of his cabinet. Now, what do you think would have prompted the president's decision for these two ministers?
Well, I think if you look at the two ministers, particularly the Minister for Power, you realize that it doesn't seem as if the minister understands, that's by my own observation. It doesn't seem as if the minister understands the focus of this administration. Every now and then we hear of the power collapse, power grid collapse and all that, and it's not helping the image of this government at all, because the economy that the government wants to build is predicated on the fact that power must work so that industries can thrive. But if you have someone who is supervising or superintending over the affairs of that ministry, and then we are having the problem with power still having, dropping every time, then you expect that the president should do the needful by maybe relieving of the separation, which of course we are just seeing now.
And the president has said that this is a continuous process. So do you foresee more events like this, rejigging, or do you see more ministers leaving? Well,
you just said something about the president not giving to changing his team. We may see, because it surprised every one of us by leaving these two people. So we hope that he might even go the whole hog by changing the whole of them. I think if this government will do well in the remaining months, this administration, it must be a total change and overhaul of the cabinet. The ones we are seeing there now, most of them, they have served out their usefulness. And I think we need a fresh blood, people who can actually help this administration to, just salvage the damage it has suffered so far, so that Nigeria can begin to breathe again, as the case may be.
Well, Mr. Charles Ideo, journalist and political affairs analyst, we thank you very much for joining us on News Now. And ahead of the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting held at the Presidential Villa earlier today, President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurated the board of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA. Buhari charged the new board to seek more ways to boost economic diversification in the country. TV360's Falashade Ogurinde tells us more.
After 5 years of meritorious service, it is time to hand over and inaugurate a new board of directors to steer the affairs of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA. Established in May 2011, the NSIA has the primary objective to drive sustainable economic development. Reiterating the call, President Muhammadu Buhari has urged the 9-man board to make more investments that support economic diversification.
To the new board members, your appointment is a call to duty. It is a call to action, and it is a call to performance. Some analyst reports are projecting global oil prices could drop to around $40 United States per barrel by 2030. As a board, we want you to plan for change and in doing, prepare the next year to make more investment that support economic diversification.
In her remarks, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said from the base position of $1 billion when the administration assumed office in 2015, NSIA assets has tripled.
Your Excellency, we will continue to explore avenues to support the NSIA as we aim to do much more than what has been done already. As the supervising minister, my mandate to the new board is to keep moving the NSIA success story forward based on the authority's mandate with integrity, keeping the NSIA relevant, practical, and valuable for all stakeholders within and outside our country.
On his part, the non-executive chairman, Northwest, Farouk Mohammed Gumel, while commending the outgoing board members for a job well done, said a new board of directors will ensure, among other things, the completion of all unfinished projects.
Some of the impactful projects that are being executed still need to be completed. We are also well aware of the funding challenges that the government is facing. And so our plan is to ensure that we continue to push forward the projects that the previous board, under the guidance and directives of Mr. President, complete in a very economical and efficient manner. So for us, that is the assurance we'd like to give Mr. President, that we will continue to push on those infrastructure projects, those social impactful projects, and all other projects that will further enhance the economic well-being of Nigeria.
While many countries struggle to sustain their economy during the peak of the pandemic in 2020, the NSIA stunned industry watchers, recording a rise in asset growth to 981.78 billion naira in 2020, indicating a nod to the authority's ability to manage Nigeria's sovereign wealth fund. Falashade Ogurinde, TV360 News.
And as the race for the Anambra governorship elections draw nearer, political parties vying for the #1 seat in the state are putting finishing touches to all their preparations. President Muhammadu Buhari has officially endorsed Andy Uba as the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress (APC) for the Anambra polls. Our correspondent Falashade Ogurinde tells us more.
Amid cheers from top party members, President Muhammadu Buhari officially receives and endorses former Senator Andy Uba as the APC candidate in the Anambra State governorship election. The president, who wished Andy Uba all the best in the elections, said he is confident that he has what it takes to emerge winner at the polls.
I'm particularly happy today because I know how steadfast Andy has been, and I formally welcome you with great pleasure for winning the candidature, to participate as a gubernatorial candidate of your state. I certainly wish you the best of luck, and I will very closely continue to follow you. I'm anxious for your success.
Briefing reporters after the meeting, Senator Uba expresses delight at the endorsement of President Buhari. Uba, who emerged as the APC governorship candidate despite allegations of girls' primaries, promised that he would make Anambra an APC state by the end of the governorship elections in November 2021.
If you talk about we are not divided, and I will tell you for sure that we are not divided. At the end, everybody will see that we are not divided. We're going to win Anambra State. APC will win Anambra State under me.
On his part, Chairman, Caretaker and Convention Planning Committee of the party, Maimela Buni, said the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, is not a threat to the APC, despite being the ruling party in Anambra State.
Your Excellency, Anambra used to be our weakest link, but it may interest you to note that since after concluding our primaries, we've been receiving new entrants into the party. Particularly last week, we received Senator Stella Odua, a sitting senator of the Federal Republic, and also we received Senator Joy Imodi, among others leaders that we received in and still counting. Excellency, Anambra is ripe for us to win because we are doing our best to ensure that all the leaders are working together to ensure that APC succeeds at the end of the day.
36 political parties are in the race for who becomes the next governor of Anambra State. While the elections are expected to be very competitive, winning the seats might be more significant for the All Progressives Congress, APC. Now, this is because for 22 years, only the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, have been at the helm of affairs in the southeastern state. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News.
Meanwhile, the Zenith Labour Party ZLP has called for a compulsory debate for political aspirants ahead of the Anambra governorship election. National chairman of the ZLP, Dan Wanyanwu, made the call while unveiling Obiora Okonkwo as the party's candidate on Wednesday. Okonkwo, who lamented about the state of affairs in Anambra State, says it is time for the ZLP to change the narrative in leadership.
This is an opportunity Zenith Labour Party should not miss. Because if you check the calculations in Anambra, you may say that it will be too close to call, but it will be in favor of the Zenith Labour Party. And we want a situation where the first 5 parties must be subjected to thorough, debates. You must come and tell Anambra people what you have done for yourself, what you have done for the people of Anambra State and your constituency. If you have held government position before, you must tell Anambra people how you assisted them with the position you occupied.
Anambra State has not recovered from the encounter we had in 2003, from the issue of Godfather and Godson. We are here, we are independent, Zenith parties, Labour Party is free. Any vote for us is vote for just me and Jesse Belong. It's not a vote. You will not know what the outcome will be in court by the time the cases between the two so-called major parties are determined.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Nigeria's volleyball team records first win at Under-19 World Championship. Details of that and more after this break. Please stay with us. Glad to have you back. Now here's a quick reminder of some of our top stories tonight. Bandits have again abducted a yet-to-be ascertained number of students following an attack on Kaya Day Secondary School in Zamfara State. According to reports, the assailants invaded the school at Maradon local government area of the state at about 11 a.m. on Wednesday and left with the students to an undisclosed location. However, police authorities in the state are yet to confirm the incident. And we also told you that President Muhammadu Buhari has relieved the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Sabo Nanono, and his power counterpart, Salim Aman, of their appointments as part of the cabinet Cabinet restructuring, Mohammed Abubakar, the Minister of Environment, is expected to assume office as the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, while Abubakar Aliyu, the Minister of State for Works and Housing, will take over as the Minister of Power. And in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're TV360 Online. And as Nigeria continues to witness high cases of COVID-19 in the third wave of the pandemic, the federal government has said it is considering taking some measures against people who refuse to get vaccinated. And this announcement has been forwarded by several stakeholders who are of the belief that the rights of people should not be trampled on. Does the government have the right to enforce the compulsory COVID-19 vaccination? Our correspondent Abisola Adebayo tells us more in this next report.
The first batch of COVID-19 vaccines arrived in Nigeria in March 2021, at a time when it was most needed in the country. Surprisingly, 5 months after its arrival, only a little above 2.8 million people have received their COVID-19 vaccines in the country, out of which less than 1.5 million people have received their full vaccination. Vaccine hesitancy remains a major challenge in Nigeria, and the government says it is contemplating enforcement of a stricter measure to scale up vaccination.
If some individuals refuse to take the vaccine, hence endangering those who have or those who could not due to medical exemptions, then we have to apply the basic rule of law, which stipulates that your human right stops where mine begins. So, you have a right to refuse vaccines, but you do not have the right to endanger the health of others.
Reacting to these, medical practitioners say the move is against medical practice, and instead of force, the government should persuade people.
It is against our oath as medical practitioners, as health professionals, to force people to take any intervention. Nigerians actually don't want to die of COVID-19. No Nigerian will want to die of COVID-19. Unfortunately, the thing is that most Nigerians are not properly informed about the importance of vaccines. I think we should emphasize more on patient education, public education, and I know that Nigerians would adhere.
However, how legal is this move that the government wants to embark on? Experts say the policy is completely illegal and it might only be sensible if there were enough vaccines to inoculate eligible citizens.
That threat is not illegal as far as I'm concerned, because it's not by force to get the vaccine. It's not by force to get the vaccine. And secondly, let's even assume that it's legal. Where are the vaccines? Do we have enough vaccine in the country? Are we producing enough? Do we have enough of grant to go around everybody for you to say, look, you must get it by force? The argument may be that, look, those who are not taking it may be injurious to other people, may be using their own rights, or maybe infringing the right of other people by not doing it. So as it is, we have to create a balance. You cannot force people to go to hospital to go and get injection, for instance, if you are not interested in getting injection. What the government should be doing is to persuade people or encourage people to do it, to take it, not by force.
Earlier in the week, Rivers State and Ondo State governments announced that those without a proof of vaccination would be barred from public places as well as large gatherings. Abisola Adebayo, TV360 News.
Well, we'll take a break here and return with business stories. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Now, up next is business news with Abisola Adebayo. Abisola.
Welcome to Business News. The federal government has awarded the contract for the expansion of terminal buildings at Nigeria's international airports. Giving details of the contract, the special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, who briefed correspondents on behalf of the Minister of Aviation, Adisirika, says the expansion for the Lagos domestic building would cost over 2 billion naira.
Presented a memo for the approval of award of contracts at the Muritala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, and Katsina Airport in Katsina. For Lagos, it's for the expansion of terminal building at domestic terminal, GAT, for the sum of 2,817,579,271.99. For the Katsina Airport, is expansion of Katsina Airport apron, awarded at 527,353,095.12. There is also the expansion of Lagos Cargo Airport cargo apron areas, awarded at 1.982,943,242.31.
We'll take a break here and return with a review of the stock market. Don't go away. 19 billion naira has been removed from the total value of listed equities on the Nigerian exchange on the first day of trading in the month of September, and that has left the bears in dominance. What a way to start the month. Analysts connected this to profit-taking by major investors. The all-share index shed 0.09% to close at 39,184 basis points. Deals were lower by 24% on Tuesday's session as 3,449 deals valued at over 1 billion naira exchanged hands in 169 million units of shares. Moving on to our top losers today, FTM Cocoa led 17 other losers as it declined by almost 10%. Morrison shed yesterday's gain to end up in the losers counter as it loses 11 kobo at the close of trading. On the flip side, ICO and Custodian Conglomerate, even though they didn't gain so much, they led 7 other gainers on the floor of the Nigerian exchange today. Well, it's been bearish all week in the market, but let's hope this new month of September would be different. Moving on to the global scene, the FTSE, the Dow Jones, and the Nikkei. The FTSE spent the day giving back its earlier strong gains, and while tech names like Just Eat Takeaway and Ocado made heavy headway, miners trimmed the opening bullishness of the index. Dow Jones future rose modestly early on Wednesday, but the gains came to a halt as Zoom video communication stocks plunged. Nikkei also ended in the positive territory. That's all on Stock Market Review. Over to Oyin for the rest of the news.
Well, thank you for that update, Bisola. We'll move on now to the foreign scene, where Zambia's new president, Hakainde Hichilema, says he inherited an empty treasury from his defeated rival and former president, Edgar Lungu. The president revealed in an interview on Wednesday that horrifying amounts of money had been stolen and people are still trying to make last-minute movements of unauthorized funds. For the first time since 1998, Zambia plunged into a recession last year. It also defaulted on a debt repayment. Although Hichilema did not name any officials, he said the debt situation had not been fully disclosed by the former government. Lungu had, however, previously denied all wrongdoings. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
The official trailer for Kunle Afolayan's latest production, Swallow, has premiered ahead of its October 1st, 2021 global Netflix premiere. The feature film is based on Sefi Atta's 2010 novel Swallow and follows the story of Tolani Ajao, a naive secretary whom, after a series of career woes, considered a drug trafficking offer from her roommate Rose Adamson. In the lead role as Tolani Ajao is Niola. The songstress stars alongside Ijoma Grace Agu, Chema Akpota, Deyemi Okolawon, Omotunde Adebowale, Eniola Badmus, Mercy Aigbe, among others. Actress Yvonne Nelson has presented prizes worth 2.7 million naira to 3 brilliant students who came tops in an essay competition she organized. The essay competition was organized as part of the 10th anniversary celebration of Yvonne Nelson's Glaucoma Foundation. The competition was open to children between the ages of 10 to 16 years, and the 3 winners, all girls, received cash prizes, gift vouchers, and other items from sponsors of the competition. And that is all that we have for you in the entertainment segment of News Now.
In sports, Nigeria's volleyball team has beaten Cuba 3-2 to record their first win at the ongoing Under-19 Boys World Championship in Iran. An emphatic 15-13 scoreline in favor of Nigeria in the 5th set clinched the game at 3-2, enabling Nigeria to hope for placement between 13th and 16th in the classification. Head coach of Nigeria's volleyball team, Sani Mohammed, said Nigeria became the second African country to beat Cuba at any world championship, adding that it will be good to surpass the previous record where the team finished 14th position at the championship 2 years ago. The 2021 Volleyball World Championship, which began on August 24th, is expected to end on September 2nd. And that's the size of our bulletin this evening. We thank you for watching. I am Oyi Adekune.